Section 1.3 is about subtraction of whole numbers, and a subtraction sentence consists of three parts. One is the minuend, and then there's the subtrahend, and then the third one is the difference. So the minuend is the number for which we subtract the subtrahend, and then we get the difference. So in this case, 6 minus 2 equals 4. So here we learn a few new words. So in other words, the minuend is a number from which another number is being subtracted. The subtrahend is the number that is being subtracted, and the difference is the result of subtracting the subtrahend from the minuend. Again, this is terminology or math vocabulary, and so be sure to remember these words and their meaning. And so here's the official definition of subtraction. The difference, a minus b, is that unique whole number c for which a equals c plus b. In other words, that's how we can check our answer also. So we're going to cover this in just a moment here. In example 1, our minuend is 7,893, our subtrahend is 4,092. We subtract one from the other, so 3 minus 2 is 1, and 9 minus 9 is 0, and 8 minus 0 is 8, and 7 minus 4 is 3. So the difference is 3,801. So we check our answer by adding the difference to the subtrahend. And so we have 3,801. So we add these two together. So that's 3, 9, 8, 7. And that matches our minuend, 7,893. So this is the correct answer. In example number 2, we subtract the ones, and we realize that 6 minus 8 does not give us a whole number. So 6 ones minus 8 doesn't work. So we need to borrow 1 from the tens. So this becomes a 7, and this becomes then a 16. And 16 minus 8 is 8. And 7 minus 5 is 2. And 6 minus 3 is 3. And 8 minus 2 is 6. So the difference is 6,328. In exercise number 3, we have a similar situation where 5 minus 8 is not a whole number, so we borrow 1 from the next 10. So that gives us a 3, and this gives us a 15. And 15 minus 8 is 7. And 3 minus 9 doesn't give us a whole number, so we borrow 1 from the next one, so it makes it a 0. And this gives us a 13. And 13 minus 9 is 4. And 0 minus 3 does not work, so we borrow from the thousands 1, so it becomes a 10, and this becomes a 6. So 10 minus 3 is 7. And 6 minus 2 is 4. So the difference is 4,747. And when you add the minuend, the subtrahend to the difference, then we get the original number, the minuend of 7,145. And exercise number 4 is quite similar. 0 minus 4 does not give us a whole number, so we borrow 1 of the tens from the next one, from 7, so that gives us a 6, and this gives us a 10. So 10 minus 4 is 6, and 6 minus 1 is 5. So the difference between these two numbers is 56. In the guided solution example number 5, we have 503 minus 298. So 3 minus 8 doesn't give us a whole number, so we need to borrow 1 from the 0 but we cannot do that, so we have to get a 10 from the 5, and so we get a 9, and then that becomes a 4, and so then 13 minus 8 is 5, and 9 minus 9 is 0, and 4 minus 2 is 2. So the difference is 205. So for a little change of pace, we'll do some calculator exercises. And even if you don't have a separate calculator, most likely you have one on your phone. So in other words, learn how to use your calculator in your phone or otherwise to subtract numbers. And that's sometimes, a little different. The main thing is that you become familiar with your own calculator. So the difference between 57 and 29 using a calculator now is 28. And the difference between 81 and 34 is 47. So the calculators really work well. And 145 minus 78 is 67. And 612 minus 493 is equal to 119. And when we subtract these two numbers, 4,976 minus 2,849, 488, the answer, the difference, is equal to 2,128. And then doing the last one, number 6, 12,406 minus 9,813, that's equal to 2,593. So get used to using your calculators for subtraction, just that you know how to operate it. And that's what this exercise is about. So for exercise number 6, we cannot subtract 9 from 7, so we need to borrow 1 from the previous one, so it becomes a 9, and borrow 1 from the previous one, that becomes a 9, and borrow 1 from the previous one, that becomes a 6. So then we have 17 minus 9 is equal to 8, and 9 minus 4 is equal to 5, and 9 minus 3 is equal to 6, and 6 minus 6 is equal to 0, so the result, the difference is 658. And for number 7, 0 minus 9 we cannot calculate, that's not a whole number. So we need to borrow 1 from the previous one, that becomes a 9, and this becomes a 10. So we borrow 1 from the previous one, that becomes a 9. We borrow 1 from the previous one, that becomes a 5. So then 10 minus 9 is 1, and 9 minus 4 is equal to 5. And 9 minus 1 is equal to 8, and 5 minus 3 is equal to 2. So the difference is 2,851. So when we look at number 8, we realize that 5 minus 9 doesn't give us a whole number, so we need to borrow 1 from the 3/10 here, so it gives us 15. It gives us a 2. So 15 minus 9 is 6. And so here we need to borrow 1 from the 0, that gives us a 9. And we need to borrow 1 from the 9, that gives us 8. So then we have 12 minus 8 is equal to 4. And 9 minus 4 is equal to 5. Now 8 minus 7 is equal to 1. So the difference is 1,546. And for number 9, we need to borrow a 10 from this number so that we can make it 11 minus 4 is 7. And then this becomes a 9, and this becomes a 9. We need to borrow 1 from this one, that becomes a 1. So the 9 minus 2 is 7, and 9 minus 1 is 8, and then there's only a 1 left, so the difference is 1,877. So that's an 8. And this concludes section 1.3.